Krishna sir from KL University. Dr. Krishna sir obtained his doctoral degree from Andhra University in Mechanical Engineering with heat transfer specialization. He did his postdoc from New Mexico State University, USA in heat and mass transfer. He is a fellow of Institution of Engineers and life member of many technical bodies and associations. Sir has vast teaching and research experience of 32 years along with 3 years of industrial experience. Under his esteemed guidance, 6 students obtained PhD and another 4 scholars are pursuing in the area of nanofluids, scroll expander and energy generation. Sir has published more than 70 articles which are indexed in Scopus and Web of Sciences. His present H-index is 11 and has more than 600 citations. For his fabulous teaching style, Sir has won Best Teacher Award many times. He was the author of 2 books in the area of thermodynamics and heat transfer. He has won the prestigious President of India Gold Medal through Institute of Engineers, India. He served in many positions in KL University. At present, he is working as Dean Quality in same university. Under his leadership, the university has got NAC A++ and QS Diamond rating. He is an author, NAC Accessor, MBA programmer, evaluator and acted as a member in many state government committees. Sir, your biodata is simply telling us how much efforts you are putting in teaching field and thank you for giving your time, sir. I request Chinmayi to present a bouquet to Ramakrishna, sir.
Good morning to all of you. I thank Dr. Raghu for giving me this opportunity. Anyhow, this is the prominent topic to suit to the current academic situation in our country. All of you are aware, India is having largest population next to China, of course. And when compared to the other countries like America, the population in India is 3 times more, whereas the resources are 3 times less. So there is a great effect of utilizing the resources and developing in terms of any other infrastructure aspects are being challenge for our country. And not only that, it is envisaged that by 2030, the country is going to be the youngest country in the world. That means in the age group of 25 to 35, the population percentage is going to be very high, maybe by 2030. And in China, by 2030, the average age group will become 60 above. So there is a large potential for India to succeed and become one of the developed countries in the world if we are able to utilize our resources, particularly the youth potential, by 2030. That is the estimation. And another danger is, unless we don't guide the youth, you know, right now the present employment rate is very poor. So by 2030, with the greatest youth population in our country, without proper employment and without proper earning income, there is a danger that these youth may go in a wrong direction and they may become anti-social elements also. So that is the reason why the government has taken initiatives, not now, they have started 5 years ago, and how to change the education system so that everybody should not depend only on employment. They should stand on their own legs, self-sustainability. Startups, incubation centers, skill if you can impart to the students, that will help them to earn on their own without depending on employment by someone else. So these central ideas are core for development of another education policy 2020 after a break of more than 15 years. So a lot of changes they have envisaged and they have tried to implement it in 2020 NEP plan, National Education Plan. But anyhow, though the document is named as NEP 2020, even today, almost 22 is over, November and December, another 1 year, 3 years over, but the implementation of NEP is still at infancy stage. It is because of unawareness, number one. So when you want to set a goal, the most important thing is you should know about it. If you don't know that there is something available which is very precious, if you don't know that, then you don't desire to achieve, correct? So first information is knowledge about the resources. So you should know about NEP, what are the advantages, disadvantages in it, and how to implement it and how to progress in that. Then perhaps everybody will start aiming at NEP and then they will try to reach that goal. So that is the reason why throughout the country, through AICTE, UGC and all other educational accreditation bodies and statutory bodies and governing bodies, it is made mandatory all faculty members of the institution must have complete awareness about National Education Plan 2020. That is the reason perhaps I think the organizers have introduced this NEP 2020 into your faculty development program. Anyhow, so as I said, the basic principles involved in this is categorized into different aspects. They are majorly focused on students. Flexibility for students, how students can fit into the education system, how easily they can get the access to education, and how deprived category of students are also able to participate effectively in the education system. So first major part is students. You are all aware the present education system is tailor-made. That means for you take any student in any branch of engineering, most of engineering colleges, when I talk about technical education, are giving him training in one particular area and putting him in some organization. So that particular student is fit only for that job. If there is a deviation in that, he may not be able to fetch and he may not be able to succeed in his life. That is tailor-made. It is everything is present. And once a student joins in a course, he has got no liberty to change over. Whether he is fit to it or unfit to it, whether he deserves it or he undeserves, whether he is capable of doing it or not capable, incapable, still he has to live with it. Ultimately he has to live either with third class degree or compartmental degree certificate, but he cannot change over from it. That is the present situation. So major focus is in the NEP is how students can be made utilizing the academic system in India and how what are the changes that you have to make. And then for receiving this, what is the role of the faculty? How faculty should be trained and what are the resources that we have to plan for making the faculty to guide the students in proper direction. And then what kind of infrastructure is required in the education institutions to meet these requirements, the third aspect. And fourth one is for advancement, how research should be made, etc. and how you have to train the students such that they stand on their own and they don't seek employment, but they should become employment givers instead of employment seekers. So focus of this NEP is purely on these aspects. So major focus and priority is given for initial literacy and numeracy. All of you are, I think, aware the gross enrollment ratio in our country is very poor. Last, you know, all of the Kerala state is supposed to have 100% literacy rate. Earlier you might have studied in your childhood, 100% literacy rate is in Kerala. But now, the real fact, one of my friends who is working in the Kerala government told me it has come down. And in our state also literacy rate is very, very poor. And overall, if you take India literacy rate, it is below 30%. Very poor. It is because the government has not taken any initiatives like other countries are doing. For example, if you take America, schooling is compulsory there, primary education. Everybody has to go to school and up to 12th, that is 11th class, they have to study. No way, they cannot escape. They have to compulsorily send their children to school. It ensures 100% literacy automatically. And for that purpose, the schooling is free of cost. If you admit your children in a institute, in a school near to your locality, then it is completely free. While filling up the application also, they will ask whether you want to feed your children on your own or you want the school to provide a lunch. So if you tick the school has to provide the lunch, they will provide it. They don't take any pride in that, or they don't make any canvassing of providing midday lunch to the students, and no politics, nothing. It is a policy made, that's all. Whatever is the government and whoever is in the government, it follows. And number of private schools in America, for each state you can count on fingers, that's all. And nobody will admit their children in private schools unless they want some kind of privacy to their children. Because government schools are more famous. And unlike in India, the real estate is very dominant near a school which has got more popularity. I told you, if you are residing in an area near to that school, in that school the admission is free to your ward. So if it is a good school, surrounding that school, people will try to relocate themselves and stay. So therefore real estate is high in that particular area depending on the name and fame of the school in that area. So that is how American education system is going on. And the 11th class is mostly meant for skill development. That is why after 11th class, students will, parents will not give them even pocket money also. He has to earn on his own and he has to serve. That is the reason why when they ask for gardening work, when something is there, gardening work is there pending in their house, these people will do, the son will do and demand for some money. $20 a month you have to pay, otherwise you will not do the gardening. That is how they earn on it on their own. And of course there are other issues also. And in Germany also it is compulsory, education is compulsory. I have observed one case where in a village one girl was attending the school, for that one girl student a separate bus is provided, 40 miles from the city. That bus goes and carries that child 40 miles every day, again she is dropped. So unless such kind of stringent rules, if we don't implement in our country, literacy rate will not improve. So therefore top priority is given for foundational literacy and numeracy by all students by grade 3. That is the major task of this NEP, and the gross enrollment ratio they are expecting to reach 50% by 2030. Present it is only 27 or 28. Earlier when this NEP 2020 was drafted, the gross enrollment ratio was around 24, 23.6. Slightly it is improved another 3%, that's all. But they are expecting it to reach 50% by 2030, which is now a dream only. So unless the government and the institutions, existing institutions put their wholehearted effort, it is not possible to reach that gross enrollment ratio. And as I said in the beginning, most of the students, when they join in a course, they are confined to that program only. Mechanical engineering, he has to study only mechanical engineering. 4 years, once he is admitted in mechanical engineering, he has to live with that mechanical engineering and finally come out with a mechanical engineering degree. So whether after 1 year he might have developed more interest, or sometimes he might have developed a kind of vexation with that mechanical engineering. So there is no option for him to change or to further excel in that. That is what I said, tailor made. He has to go in that particular path only. So that is the reason why NEP again says, depending on the creativity, interest of the students, he should be given extreme choices so that he can switch over from art to science or science to engineering or engineering to art, whatever it may. If you observe the recent UGC regulation 2022, in that also they have mentioned the institutions can offer dual degrees also. At a time a student can do 2 degrees. Along with your engineering degree, you can also obtain some other degree. For that purpose, online education system is now coming. See, lot of flexibilities, lot of avenues they are opening, and that is the purpose of this national education policy. As I said, multidisciplinary and holistic education, conceptual understanding, creativity and critical thinking. This is again major problem with technical courses in our country. Whether it is NBA or any other program outcome specified by your own programs, you write about critical thinking. Students should achieve critical thinking. That is what you expect. But many faculty members as well as students are not aware of what is critical thinking and how to move in that direction to make the student to achieve that critical thinking capability. None of the institutions except a few IITs and IIITs in the country, except few only, again among them, are making the students to get this critical thinking capability. By solving exercise problems in the textbook, he will not get critical thinking. By pumping data and asking them to do homework, a student will not get critical thinking. And when the government is boosting for online education, there is a difference, OL and ODL, online education. Even evaluation also happens through online. And if it is not a proctored examination, how do you control copying of the students, particularly in our country like India? So you have to go for open-ended examination, open-ended questions, open textbook examination. When I was in Illinois, one of my friend's daughter was given home assignment, 10 objective questions. She has to answer those 10 objective questions and submit it through online. Those 10 objective questions belongs to which chapter and which textbook is also typed below that question paper by the faculty member. It is there available. The textbook she can open, and from which chapters those 10 questions are coined is also available. 3 chapters, 10 questions are given. Those 10 questions are random. In the classroom of 60, you cannot expect all the 60 students will get the same 10 questions. They are randomly given. There is a pool of question bank for those 3 chapters, and from that pool 10 questions are given randomly. You know, she has struggled a lot, more than 4 hours to answer those 10 questions, and she has to read those 3 chapters in the textbook at least 3 times to answer those 10 multiple choice questions. That should be the kind of examination. Open book examination, you say. So to answer those questions, she has to do lot of exercise, even though it is an open book examination. So question, many of us do not know how to frame the question paper. That is the basic thing. Unless you know about it, this critical thinking, creativity, you cannot expect it from the students. Same stereotype questions if you start asking in the classroom, they will copy it and resubmit, that's all. There is a difference. Are you expecting a different answer from each student? Yes. Then how you have to frame the question, you should know. That framing of question should lead the student to think in a creative manner and answer it. So first role is the role of the teacher in making the student to get that critical thinking and creativity. So anyhow, these are all the major issues that the National Education Policy 2020 is focusing on, along with the life skills I told you, like communication, teamwork and resilience. These characteristics also have to develop. And another one is, most of the times, even today, we have semester end examination. In the semester end examination, the whole syllabus is that means whatever you have studied in that 6 months is the syllabus for that semester end examination, and we are calling it as summative test, correct? How a student will answer and gain good marks in that summative test? He has to memorize and then keep it in his memory, then only he will be able to succeed in it. So again, it is a rotten type of making the student evaluate based on his memory. So that is again a bad test. So NEP 2020 focus on formative assessment rather than summative assessment. Already in CBSE schools, they have started this formative assessment. Formative assessment is chapter by chapter, bit by bit. It is enough because lot of information is available either in hard copy or in soft copy. What is the necessity for the student to remember it and reproduce? You cannot expect a student to remember the whole 6 months syllabus and reproduce it in the examination. Not required, not necessary. So that is why they focus on regular formative assessment for learning. Chapter by chapter, or CO by CO. CO1 test, over. CO2 test, over. CO3, over. CO4, over. No question of summative assessment. You can see, you can observe it. Those children, who are studying in CBSE schools now, you can observe. They have completely removed that summative assessment. Now the assessment is taking place only unit after unit, unit after unit. There is no end test at all. They have removed it. Slowly NEP is coming up anyhow, but still there is a long way to go. Okay. And full equity and inclusion. Everybody must have the access to get education, irrespective of his caste and creed, that equity, religion and inclusion, socially, economical or sound, both should have the same kind of treatment in learning things in an issue. So that is again another focus. So these are all. So again, as I said, focus is more on the teachers and faculty, and they are also focusing more on the They are also focusing. The National Education Policy is also talking about the role of regulatory bodies. See, once an institution is found not doing well, the present regulation system is not enough to take stringent action on that institution or to close that institution. It is not happening in our country. They are given multiple chances and then still they are continuing with that poor education system in the country. So, what NEP again expects is, rules should be light. They don't want to impose any stringent rules on the issue, light rules. But whatever they specify, they must be implemented into. That concept is called light and but tight regulatory framework. And of course, as I said, research is another. So that is the major goal, and the vision of this policy you can see here. The education system rooted in Indian ethos that contributes directly to transforming India sustainably into an equitable and vibrant knowledge society by providing high quality education to all. That is the major concern, and thereby making India a global knowledge superpower. With that vision in their mind, this policy is total. There are 24 chapters in this National Education Policy. They are divided into 4 categories. First one, school education. The second one, higher education. Third one is, what are the key areas to be focused to implement this education policy. And fourth one is, how to make it happen. So first 8 chapters deals with the school education, and let us not much worry about it. You can see how clusters they have to form, and already government is taking necessary steps to form the clusters of institutes as I said, distinct institutes. And success of large multidisciplinary research universities also they are focusing in this NEP 2020. And similarly, they are aiming to deliver high quality teaching and research and community engagement through these higher educational institutions. And more focus will be given and more emphasis will be given for research. So, they are trying to divide the universities or institutions into 3 categories: a research institute, or a teaching alone institute, or teaching and research institute. Accordingly, the faculty members are also given a choice to select themselves under teacher or under research or in both teaching and research. So major focus is laid down on research, otherwise they found it is not possible to cope up with the developing world. So the teaching universities place emphasis on teaching and also conduct significant research. And as I said, all colleges to become autonomous, which are large multidisciplinary institutions, primarily on undergraduate teaching. And these higher education institutions have to have autonomy, move from one category to another category. Expectations of quality of education across all categories. Same points, but in a different way, under different heads they have discussed. So higher education institutions to support other higher education institutions in development, community, engagement and service. This is also again, emphasis is given on this point also, by entering into collaborative agreement. So that is hand holding, paramarsh, different schemes are already there on annual, and government is trying to propagate helping hand of one grown institute to other surrounding institutions so that they can also grow along with this. So this is another area in which the NEP 2020 is focusing, and they are ready to fund the institution which is going to give helping hand to other institutions for rising. Under Paramarsh scheme, I think Siddhartha College has got it, correct? Your PVP Siddhartha. I think they have received 16 lakhs under Paramarsh scheme. So in 2040, by 2040, they expect that all institutions should become multidisciplinary with thousands of student communities. When you want to form a cluster, the total number of students strength in that cluster should be minimum 3,000. So with 3,000 students, when you form a cluster with different kinds of disciplines, students have got the flexibility, and the institute also can offer degrees on their own. And the gross enrollment ratio, as we have seen, they are expecting it to reach 50% by 2020. You can see in 2018 it is 26.3. In 2022 now we have reached only around 30-31. That's all. So by 2030 reaching 50% is a Herculean task unless the government and the educational institutions across the country put combined efforts together. It is very difficult to reach that 50% target. And growth of both public and private institutions. Mostly focus is on private institutions for fair and transparent system of funding and through public higher education institutions. And all institutions may run open distance learning and online programs if accredited to do so. Slowly open distance learning. There is a difference between open distance learning and online learning. In open distance learning, students join through distance education, but they have to attend classes in a center nearby in any college in their city. For example, those who are in Khammam, there is a local center. They have to go and attend the classes at Khammam, and they have to write the examinations in that center. Like that is called ODL, Online Distance Learning Program. And online program is exclusively, completely 100% online only. Even the evaluation also happens online. The student need not come to the campus, they can do it. This online program is basically focused to physically handicapped students and army people and those who wish to do their to continue their learning from home itself, maybe housewives and prisoners where they have no access to come out, but still they can do their learning they can continue their learning process. For that purpose, these online programs are chopped out. So slowly ODL will eradicate and online will pop up. So all institutions should offer these online programs, and then only it is possible for the students to get dual degrees, and whatever degree they want to earn in parallel with their original degree they can do. So, and again, as I said, single stream higher education institutions to become multidisciplinary, and all higher education institutes with full autonomy, quality private institutions will be encouraged. So it continues like that, institutional restructuring and consolidation. Maximum number of colleges affiliated to a university by 2025 will be limited to 300. You might have heard Anna University in Tamil Nadu. Under that Anna University, 740 colleges are there. All engineering colleges are brought under one university, Anna University. 740 colleges. It is very difficult for the university to manage those 740. And what happened during COVID time? They have completely given relaxation to the students, and all students have cleared all subjects during that COVID time. And examinations were completely made through online, and they were not able to monitor that properly, and all students have cleared it. So there was hue and cry in appointing those batch students, recruiting those batch students by companies. So such a thing should not happen, means the number of affiliating colleges under a university should be limited. So that is also taken care. Anyhow, this affiliation I think will be eradicated or slowly will disappear, and all institutes they want to act like autonomous institutions, or they can form clusters on their own and they can develop themselves as a university. They become degree offering institutions. So and again, different complex nomenclature like state university, deemed to university, affiliating university, unitary, all these are to be removed, and only one name they want to coin, that is university. Now the 11th chapter deals with towards more holistic education, as I said, all-round development of the students, like what happened earlier in our olden days. More than 1000 years old Takshashila and Nalanda universities, how they have propagated, how foreigners also came to Nalanda Institute and Takshashila Institute and learned many things in our country. Of course, Takshashila I think it is now in Pakistan region, Nalanda is in our country only. Those universities in olden days attracted people from other countries also. So that kind of tradition, holistic approach should be developed. That is the idea of this national education plan. Engineering will move to holistic education with more arts and humanities. Imaginative, flexible curricular structures, multiple entry, multiple exit points, removing rigid boundaries. At any point you can enter into a scheme and then you can leave. And new departments, credit-based courses, flexible curriculum, less rote learning, that is what they said. Instead of summative assessment, only formative assessment should happen. And emphasis on communication, interdisciplinary thinking, etc. And internship with local industry, business, artists, students for practical side of learning and employability. To match with the program outcomes, whatever you have coined for a program, all students should come out with 100% outcome what is specified for that program. That is the major objective of this holistic education. If you see the engineering education, other than 5 domain specific requirements of a student, there are 7 domain independent requirements like teamwork, communication, ability to move forward, lifelong learning, societal interaction, consciousness about the society, empathy, all these are life skills. And those are also need to be achieved by a student, and that becomes a holistic approach and all-round development of the student. And this modular approach, so instead of 4 years bachelor program, now most of the bachelor's programs are 3 years. Recently, government has released a document on this bachelor's program. Came just 3 days back. 3 years degree. In addition to that, if you do one more degree additional, you will get a research degree. and 4-year degree, engineering, etc., they can also do 1 year, and that will also become a research degree. So like that, extension of the degree with research, a preferred option, modular. And if you discontinue, maybe after 2 years you will get a diploma. Okay. After completing 1 year you will get diploma, and after completing 2 years you will get advanced diploma, and after 3 years you will get bachelor degree, etc. And for that purpose, academic bank of credits is created. Initially, this academic bank of credits policy is extended to category 1 universities across the country and some primary institutions. Already it is started. So in which the student can store his credits earned, and at any point of time he can use these credits to encash them into a degree. For example, to get a degree, the requirement of number of credits is say 120. The moment he attains 120 credits in that bank, he can claim for a degree, and degree will be awarded. And to get that degree, he can do the courses from anywhere, not only from one institute. That is another flexibility. Suppose a student studying in X university or X institute can do 50% courses only from that institute, and remaining 50% courses through online he can do from any other institute of his choice. And then those credits earned will be stored in that bank. The moment he satisfies the requirement of credits, he will be given a degree. And one more degree also the NEP has floated, general degree. That means I can do one course on arts, another one science, another one biotechnology, some biology, and another one sociology, and something else economics. Like that, whatever courses I wish to do, I will do. And I will earn the 120 credits. In the bank, credit bank, I have got 120 credits. Then that fellow will be given a degree, general degree, because he has attained the required knowledge for having a bachelor's degree, but not in one specific discipline. He has done even photography also there. Dance is also there. Music is also there. For everything, credits are there. So once you complete that course, you get the credit, and that credit bank will store. So and once that 120 requirement is met, or 110 requirement, whatever is specified, he will get a general degree in that. General degree. So he is also a bachelor degree holder, but in general, that is not specific to a domain. So that kind of flexibility is also given. And if you drop out in this process, you will get a diploma or advanced diploma or BT. And if you further extend your studies beyond your bachelor degree, you will get a research degree. So all these flexibilities are given, and similarly 2 years program, master's program, and devoted to research for those who completed 3 years bachelor program, etc. And MPhil program will be discontinued slowly, and after BTech and post-graduation and PhD, that's all. In between that MPhil, which is now being a cup of science master's holders, is now going to be slowly discontinued. So that is what it says, towards more holistic education, focusing on research and innovation, frontier areas, etc. The 12th chapter deals with optimal learning environment, and mostly how the students can be supported. So relevant curriculum, that is engaging the pedagogy, continuous assessment, not summative assessment, it is formative, and educate students, support should be given. Regularly updated curriculum to suit the requirements of industry, specific with the learning outcomes, not just like that. So most of the times what happens is student doesn't know why he is doing that subject and what is the use of that course. So slowly universities and institutions are coming out of that. Earlier, Bachelor of Engineering means 162 credits, correct? Even more than that also. 180 credits, 212 credits. Whatever is there in engineering, everything is dumped into it. Whether it will be useful to the student or not, they do not bother. But now, they reduce it. Need-based curriculum. Need-based curriculum. What is required for him to achieve that degree, only that is being taught. And student has got the choice whether to go for that or not. So such a way, what happens is, specified learning outcomes and specific regular updated curriculum to suit the needs of the industry or to the society. Only he will study. So that will lead to good quality of learning also. And there are special programs for gifted students to complete programs on fast track mode, advanced learners. If there are advanced learners, they can learn. They can earn their degree well in advance, and along with their degree they can earn one more degree also, that is dual degree mode. That is also being offered. Already few universities across the country have started this dual degree concept. While doing BTech itself, they can do another program, say law, online. So by the time he completes his BTech, he will come out with BTech and BA, both degrees. That is dual degree. And autonomy to the institutions and faculty, already we have discussed. And the assessment system to be decided by the higher education institution, that is autonomy. Funds and academic support to socio-economically disadvantaged students. And online distance learning and online programs to be made equivalent to quality in class programs. There is another here hindrance in Indian system. Those who have done degree on regular mode will be given more weightage when compared to those who do the same in online mode. The regulation says whether it is online program or online distance learning program, an institution can offer such a program only when it is there in force on campus. If I am having mechanical engineering, say MBA on campus, then only I can offer MBA through online. Number one. And second condition is, whatever subjects you are offering on campus, the same subjects must be floated to OL and ODL program also. And third one is, whatever evaluation system you are following for regular classroom, regular classwork, the same evaluation pattern you should follow for OL and ODL also. Number of credits for each course should also be same, outcomes should also be same. So that OL ODL program, government has insisted that it should be similar to that you are offering on campus. But still, what happens is when somebody comes out with a degree MBA online, there is a second thought about it. People are not recognizing it on par with the regular program. So in NEP 2020, they are now focusing more to make OL and ODL degrees are also on par with the quality in class programs, that is campus program. If this thing is succeeded, there will be a revolutionary change in the learning process of the entire country. So that is their trying. And of course global standards, etc. Mobility to Indian students to carry out research abroad. Lot of restrictions are there now, and most of the restrictions are by the government of India only. So if the government rules and regulations, if they relax, perhaps many students can go abroad and do some semester abroad program. They can, maybe a part of the degree they can go to another institute and do it. So that is now in the hands of the government itself. And that is what they said, internationalization, research collaboration, student exchange with global institution should happen. And the next one is optimal learning environment support for students, in that it is the sports, culture, arts, activity, community services, as I said, financial support to the students, etc. And private higher education institutions, we encourage it to offer large number of freeships and scholarships to their students. Of course, it is now it is up to the private higher education institution, because it is written in the policy. It is not necessary that the private higher education institution should come forward to offer more scholarships or more freeships to their students. 13th chapter deals with motivation, energized and capable faculty, and it deals with the faculty. So the previous NEP 2020 insists on maintaining faculty student ratio in 1:10 to 1:20. I think all of you are aware, premier institutions are now in India maintaining 1:8 and 1:9 also. Of course, AICT for technical education, they have relaxed it, and made it 1:20. So again, the faculty to design curricular and pedagogical approaches for innovative teaching, that means autonomy to the faculty is extended, and recruitment process of the faculty also should be transparent, and probation period assessment, etc. And leadership positions shall not remain vacant. All these are in this. And the 14th chapter deals with equity and inclusion in higher education. As I said, socio-economically and disadvantaged groups of students also must be encouraged to join in this education system. The lack of knowledge of opportunities, cost of pursuing higher education, financial constraints for students, in the admission process difficulties, language barriers, etc. are to be addressed. Language barriers, this is again going to come. They are now promoting the education, particularly technical education institutions, to follow bilingual teaching. One in mother tongue and another one in of your choice, English or Hindi. So that also may come into force very soon. And additional actions by all governments and higher education institutions, you can see here, targets for high gross enrollment ratio, enhanced access, outreach and more financial assistance, gender balance in admission. That is also their problem. Maybe this gender distribution is good in southern part of our country, but in northern and eastern part of the country, the women or girl population in the education system is very poor. That is why they are focusing on. What are all the steps to be taken by all higher education institutions? This is the recommendation only, that's all. Reduce opportunity costs and fees, more financial assistance to the students, outreach on the opportunities and scholarships, admission process and curriculum should be more inclusive. Inclusive means it should include all category of students and all gender, without any gender demarcation or without any caste demarcation. It should increase the employability potential, more courses in Indian languages and bilingually out of all facilities to be created for disabled friendly environment, bridge courses for students from disadvantaged educational backgrounds, socio-emotional and academic support and mentoring, sensitization on gender identity and equity, no discrimination and anti-harassment rules, institutional development plans to include participation from these socio-economic disadvantaged groups of students. So those are all the issues. Teacher education, again, as I already discussed, it is the Indian values to be revitalized and teachers to be well versed in latest advances. And by 2030, 4-year integrated B.Ed of the highest quality as laid down in the policy will be incentivized in expanding their capacity. This is the new move. So once you are found, even in this direction also, I think they have started funding, what is that, institutions, 500 crores grant they have sanctioned for 10 institutions across the country, private, and 10 another government. It is also happened. And single stream higher education institutions will be phased out over time. Multidisciplinary is the more focusing. The present complex nomenclature will be changed. Only university will exist, no question of state university, dream university, affiliating university, etc. Flexibility in curriculum and novel and engaging course options will be on offer to students. Model public universities for holistic and multidisciplinary education on par with IITs, IIMs, etc. will be formed. This kind of thing happens in America. Cluster of universities. I think Harvard University is part of it. There are totally 10, 12 universities are there. IVV League, they call IVY League. It has started with a football match actually, but during that match they have organized the match by 10 universities together. Then they have transformed it for that kind of collaboration into education also. Through that IVV League they completely fund the education. Even anybody can apply, even partners also. They bear complete cost of education. They get the donations required for that and operation from their own alumni and other society also. Such kind of IVY League foundations like in America, Indian government is also trying to form in our country, so that they offer and one more thing, the application acceptance rate in that IVY League America is 3.2%. That means when 100 students apply for it, only 3 students will get admission. So such a prominent and quality education they are offering. So in India also it should be promoted. High performing Indian universities will be encouraged to set up campuses in other countries. This is a very good move. Private and higher education institutions will be encouraged to offer large number of free ships and scholarships to their students. Every classroom shall have access to the latest education technology. That is then only it is possible for online learning and online distance learning. Faculty will be appointed to individual institutions and generally not be transferable across institutions. Faculty will be given freedom to design their own curricular and pedagogical approaches. Tenure track, suitable probation periods shall be put in force further. All multidisciplinary universities and colleges will aim to establish education departments also. That is what I said. Education technology course is going to become mandatory in all the institutions. So that is why, and this is the lapse in engineering education. Basically, engineering teachers are not trained teachers. They directly come after their post-graduation and join as faculty members in the institutions. But whereas in arts and science they have to undergo this BEd course, Bachelor of Education. So that kind of thing is going to be made mandatory for everybody. All fresh PhD entrants, irrespective of their discipline, will be required to take credit-based course in teaching, education, pedagogy, writing related to their chosen PhD subjects. This is 15.9 in the chapter 15 they have mentioned. Different modes of vocational education and apprenticeship incubation centers will be set up so that students can stand on their own legs and they can become entrepreneurs or they can have their own startups. In particular, the NRF, National Research Foundation, will provide a reliable base of merit-based but equitable peer-reviewed research funding by undertaking major initiatives to seed and grow research at state universities and other public institutions. All institutions offering either professional or general education will aim to organically evolve into institutions clusters offering both seamlessly and in integrated manner by 2030. That is what I said, distinct institutes. That concept is going to evolve from next year onwards, and perhaps by 2030 it will be full-fledged manner. India must also take the lead in preparing professionals in cutting-edge areas like artificial intelligence, 3D machining, big data analytics. That is Industry 4.0 requirements to meet that. Public and private sector agencies and institutions will devise strategies to improve the quality and attractiveness of books. Because private higher education institutions will be encouraged and incentivized to use Indian language as medium of instruction. And similarly, higher educations with thousands of students must include targeted training for job readiness, and universities will aim to offer PhD and master's program in core areas such as machine learning as well as multidisciplinary fields, artificial intelligence, etc., and professional areas like healthcare, agriculture. These are the essences of all the 23 or 24 chapters mentioned in the National Education Policy. So, as the idea of National Education Policy is great, aiming at very high level. Once that National Education Policy points are implemented across the country, then there will be no hindrance for our progress in education. Very soon, we can also reach on par with other countries across the globe. But there are so many hiccups and there are so many constraints, mitigations involved in implementing this National Education Policy. Unless the private sector, because only when you want to depend on public sector it is not possible, unless the private sector comes forward to implement this policy as it is, it will not going to be a successful thing for the government. And government also should come forward. Even the National Education Policy and earlier commissions also insisted that minimum 5% of our GDP, that is budget allocation, should be there for education. 5%. But now what happened is only 3.4%, 3.5% is allocated for education in the Indian budget. So government also should come forward to increase the budget allocation for education system. Otherwise, these national education policies, etc., are all only limited to papers. They will not become effective in the society. So with this, I will stop my lecture and thank you once again for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir, for giving such a wonderful information on National Education Policy 2020. We came to know that so many options are available in future to acquire degree. We hope soon we will make our country a global knowledge powerhouse, sir. Thank you. And audience, you have any questions? This is the right time to raise it. Request Head of the Institute, Dr. K. Sivaji Babu, sir, and Coordinator of the FDP, Dr. B. Raghukumar, sir, present a memento as a token of appreciation. Thank you, sir, for giving your valuable time to us.